What if I told you that most of your suffering isn't caused by what happens to you, but by how you react to it? That's right. The argument isn't about the rude coworker, the traffic jam, or even the heartbreaking news. The real source of your stress, anger, and regret lies in your reactions, not the events themselves. Controversial? Maybe, but undeniably true. Think about the last time you snapped at someone or said something you wished you could take back. Did that reaction solve the problem, or did it make things worse? We've all been there, yet we keep repeating the same cycle, letting our emotions dictate our actions and, ultimately, our lives. But what if you could break free from that cycle? What if you could stay calm in the chaos, respond with clarity instead of impulse, and take control of your emotions instead of being controlled by them? That's what this video is about, mastering the art of not reacting. Buddha once said, "What you think, you become." This timeless wisdom reminds us that our responses to life shape who we are. When you master your reactions, you're not just controlling your emotions, you're transforming your relationships, reducing stress, and building a more peaceful, intentional life. Over the next 15 minutes, I'll show you how to do exactly that. We'll explore why emotions feel so overwhelming, how impulsive reactions trap you in negativity, and most importantly, how to stop the cycle with proven techniques inspired by Buddhist teachings. It's time to challenge what you thought you knew about emotions. Ready to take back control? Let's dive into understanding the nature of emotions. Emotions are powerful. They can lift you up, connect you with others, or tear you apart. But here's the key. Emotions themselves aren't the problem. It's what you do with them that matters. Buddhist wisdom teaches that emotions are like waves. They rise, peak, and eventually pass. The problem arises when we attach ourselves to these waves, letting them dictate our actions. Think about anger, for example. It starts as a spark, often triggered by something small, a rude comment, a long line, or a mistake at work. That spark quickly grows when we feed it with reactive thoughts. Why did they say that? How dare they treat me this way? Before you know it, you've lashed out or made a rash decision, creating a storm where there didn't need to be one. Now let's flip the perspective. What if, instead of feeding that spark, you simply observed it? What if you paused and said, "This is anger. It's here, but it will pass." This shift in perspective puts you back in control. Instead of being consumed by your emotions, you're watching them from a distance, detached but aware. Buddha's teaching, "What you think, you become," reveals an important truth. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you allow emotions to dictate your actions, you surrender control. But when you pause, reflect, and choose your response, you reclaim your power. Here's an exercise to try. The next time you feel overwhelmed by an emotion, take 3 deep breaths. As you breathe in, acknowledge the feeling. This is frustration. As you breathe out, remind yourself, this too shall pass. Even a few seconds of mindfulness can create the space you need to choose your response wisely. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about recognizing that they're temporary visitors in your mind, not permanent residents. This understanding is the first step toward emotional mastery. Ready to take control of your reactions? Let's explore the difference between impulsive reactions and calm, intentional responses. We've all been there. Someone says something hurtful, and before you can think, the words fly out of your mouth. Or you make a decision in the heat of the moment that you later regret. These impulsive reactions may feel justified at the time, but they often lead to more conflict, stress, and even regret. Impulsive reactions are fueled by emotions that demand immediate attention. Anger, frustration, fear. They're like a fire alarm going off in your mind, pushing you to act quickly. But here's the catch. Most of the time, the fire isn't real. It's just the smoke of temporary emotions clouding your judgment. Buddhist teachings encourage us to pause and respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. This shift doesn't just improve the outcome of the moment. It reshapes your relationships, your peace of mind, and even how others perceive you. Imagine how different your day would be if, instead of snapping at a rude comment, you paused, took a breath, and responded with kindness or neutrality. Here's a simple example. You're stuck in traffic and someone cuts you off. Your initial reaction might be to honk angrily or yell in frustration. But what if instead you paused and thought, maybe they're in a rush or having a tough day? This moment doesn't have to ruin mine. Suddenly the tension dissipates and you remain in control. Responding calmly doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or being passive. It means choosing a response that aligns with your values and goals. It's about asking yourself, What outcome do I want in this situation? And responding in a way that moves you toward that outcome. To practice this, try the pause technique. Pause. Stop before reacting. Acknowledge. Identify the emotion you're feeling. Understand. Consider the root of the emotion. Select. Choose a response that reflects your values. Engage. Respond intentionally. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to default to thoughtful responses rather than knee-jerk reactions. Impulsive reactions might feel powerful in the moment, but calm responses create lasting strength. Ready to put this into action? Let's move on to practical techniques for mastering emotional reactions. Mastering emotional reactions isn't about suppressing what you feel, it's about creating space between the emotion and your response. This section introduces practical techniques to help you pause, reflect, and act intentionally, no matter the situation. 1. Mindful breathing. Mindful breathing is one of the simplest and most effective tools for controlling reactions. When emotions start to take over, your breathing often becomes shallow or rapid, signaling stress to your brain. By slowing your breath, you calm your mind and body. Here's how. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat this cycle a few times. This simple act gives you a moment to pause and shift focus away from your immediate reaction. It also reduces the physiological signs of stress, helping you feel more in control. 2. Journaling to identify triggers. Journaling is a powerful way to reflect on emotional patterns and identify what triggers impulsive reactions. After an emotionally charged moment, take a few minutes to write about what happened. Ask yourself, what triggered my reaction? What thoughts or feelings came up? How did my response affect the situation? Over time, this practice helps you spot patterns and address recurring triggers with greater awareness. You'll begin to see that many reactions stem from unresolved emotions or misconceptions, allowing you to approach similar situations more thoughtfully. 3. Visualization for calm responses. Visualization is like mental rehearsal for staying calm. Before entering a potentially stressful situation, close your eyes and imagine yourself responding with clarity and composure. Picture the scenario in detail. How will you feel? What will you say? What outcome will your response create? When the situation arises, your mind will feel prepared, reducing the likelihood of an impulsive reaction. Think of this as training your brain to default to calmness. 4. Daily mindfulness practices. Mindfulness is the ongoing practice of being present in the moment without judgment. By integrating mindfulness into your daily life, you build emotional resilience that carries into stressful situations. Try this. As you drink your morning coffee or tea, focus entirely on the experience. Notice the aroma, the warmth, the taste. Whenever your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the present. This daily exercise strengthens your ability to remain grounded when emotions threaten to overwhelm you. 5. Name it to tame it. Technique. When you're overwhelmed by an emotion, simply naming it can reduce its intensity. Say to yourself, this is anger, or this is anxiety. Studies show that labeling emotions activates the rational part of your brain, helping you step out of reactive mode and into observation mode. For example, if you're frustrated during a tense meeting, silently acknowledge it. This is frustration. This simple act creates a moment of awareness, allowing you to choose your next move. 6. Body scanning. Emotions often manifest physically. Tight shoulders, a racing heart, or clenched fists. A body scan helps you tune into these sensations and release tension before it escalates. Try this quick exercise. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Slowly bring your attention to each part of your body, starting from your feet and moving upward. As you notice areas of tension, imagine them softening and relaxing with each breath. This practice not only relaxes your body, but also signals your mind to let go of stress. 7. The 10-second rule. When you feel the urge to react impulsively, count to 10 before responding. This brief pause disrupts the automatic reaction cycle and gives your rational mind a chance to step in. It's simple but surprisingly effective in preventing regretful reactions. By incorporating these techniques into your life, you'll begin to notice a shift. Emotional triggers lose their power, and you'll find it easier to respond in ways that align with your values and goals. Ready to deepen your mastery? Let's explore how letting go of attachments and expectations can transform your emotional landscape. One of the most profound teachings of Buddhism is the concept of letting go. releasing attachments and expectations that often fuel emotional turmoil. Attachments, whether to people, outcomes, or material things, create a sense of dependence that can lead to frustration, disappointment, or conflict when reality doesn't align with your desires. Think about the last time you felt hurt or frustrated. Was it because something didn't go the way you expected? Perhaps a friend didn't respond the way you hoped, or a project at work didn't meet your standards. These feelings often arise because we cling to specific outcomes, believing they're essential for our happiness. Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. This doesn't mean you shouldn't care about people or goals. It means releasing the need to control outcomes. Instead of clinging tightly, practice holding things lightly, allowing them to come and go without losing your inner peace. Recognizing attachments. The first step to letting go is identifying what you're attached to. Ask yourself, what outcomes do I believe I need to be happy? Are my expectations of others realistic, or are they based on my own desires? How do I react when things don't go as planned? Simply becoming aware of your attachments can help you approach situations with greater mindfulness and less emotional intensity. Practicing acceptance. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting what is. For example, if you're in a disagreement with someone, instead of trying to force them to see your perspective, focus on understanding theirs. Acceptance doesn't mean you agree. It means you acknowledge the situation without resistance. Here's a mantra to try. I release the need to control, and I trust in the flow of life. Repeat this whenever you feel yourself clinging to a specific outcome. Releasing unrealistic expectations. Expectations often create conflict in relationships. You might expect a partner to always understand you, or a coworker to always meet deadlines. While it's reasonable to have standards, rigid expectations can set you up for frustration. To practice releasing expectations, focus on intentions instead of results. For example, instead of expecting someone to act a certain way, set the intention to respond with kindness, regardless of their behavior. Instead of expecting perfection in a project, set the intention to give your best effort and learn from the process. Finding freedom in letting go. Here's an analogy. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. But when you hold it lightly, it stays in your palm. The same is true for life. When you release your grip on outcomes, you find freedom and peace. Letting go also strengthens relationships. When you stop imposing your expectations on others, you create space for authentic connection. For instance, instead of expecting a friend to always be available, appreciate the moments they are. This shift reduces conflict and deepens trust. The role of impermanence. Another key teaching in Buddhism is impermanence, the idea that all things, good or bad, are temporary. By embracing this truth, you can approach life's highs and lows with greater equanimity. When a challenge arises, remind yourself, this too shall pass. When joy comes, savor it without clinging. Letting go of attachments and expectations isn't about becoming indifferent. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional roller coaster that comes with needing everything to go a certain way. It's about trusting that you can handle whatever life brings with grace and resilience. Ready to take the next step? Let's explore the transformative power of self-compassion and how it can help you navigate life's emotional challenges. Self-compassion is a game changer when it comes to managing your emotions. In our culture, many people equate self-compassion with weakness or indulgence, but Buddhist wisdom teaches the opposite. Treating yourself with kindness in difficult moments builds resilience, clarity, and strength. When emotions run high, whether it's frustration, sadness, or guilt, our instinct is often to criticize ourselves. Why did I react that way? I should have done better. This self-criticism only amplifies the emotional burden, making it harder to move forward. Self-compassion, on the other hand, shifts the focus from judgment to understanding. What is self-compassion? Self-compassion means treating yourself the way you'd treat a good friend who's struggling. Instead of being harsh, you offer support and kindness. There are three key components. Self-kindness, being gentle with yourself rather than critical. Common humanity, recognizing that everyone experiences setbacks and struggles. It's part of being human. Mindfulness, acknowledging your feelings without over-identifying with them. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed after making a mistake at work, self-compassion might sound like this: I'm having a hard time right now, but that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes, and this is an opportunity to learn. Practical exercises for self-compassion. The hand-on-heart technique. When you feel overwhelmed, place your hand on your heart and take a few deep breaths. This simple gesture releases oxytocin, the love hormone, and calms your nervous system. Self-compassion. Journaling. Write about a situation that upset you and respond to yourself as if you were comforting a friend. What would you say to them? A self-compassion break. In moments of stress, pause and silently say, "This is a moment of suffering." Mindfulness. Suffering is a part of life. Common humanity. May I be kind to myself. Self-kindness. The impact of self-compassion. Research shows that self-compassion reduces anxiety, enhances emotional resilience, and even improves physical health. It allows you to respond to challenges with grace, rather than being bogged down by guilt or shame. Self-compassion isn't about avoiding responsibility. It's about creating a safe emotional space to grow and move forward. When you meet yourself with kindness, you empower yourself to face life's challenges with courage and clarity. Next, let's wrap up with a conclusion that ties everything together and inspires you to start practicing these techniques today. Mastering your emotions isn't about suppressing how you feel. It's about reclaiming control over how you respond. In this video, we've explored practical techniques inspired by Buddhist wisdom to help you pause, reflect, and respond with intention rather than impulse. Remember, emotions are temporary. They come and go like waves, but your reactions can create lasting ripples. By understanding the nature of emotions, practicing mindfulness, and letting go of attachments and expectations, you create a foundation for peace and clarity in your daily life. We also talked about the power of self-compassion, treating yourself with the kindness you deserve. When you approach yourself and others with compassion, you're not just reacting differently, you're transforming your relationships, your mindset, and ultimately your life. Here's the final takeaway. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always choose how you respond. Each moment is an opportunity to pause, breathe, and act in alignment with your values. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to stay calm even in the face of life's challenges. If these ideas resonated with you, start small. Pick one technique from this video, like mindful breathing or journaling, and commit to trying it for the next week. See how it feels to take back control of your emotional responses. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to join us on this journey of self-discovery and growth. Remember, the power to transform your life starts with a single choice: to pause and respond with intention. Wishing you peace, clarity, and strength as you move forward. See you in the next video.